Now on CoastTV News.
Flames force evacuation. The dangerous situation across the Delaware Bay continues with thousands of acres burned in a wildfire. And Francis's funeral nears. We learn more about the plans coming out of Vatican City and the action that took place this morning.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story this morning, a massive wildfire is burning in Ocean County, New Jersey. Fire officials first alerted locals about the fire just before 12:30 Tuesday afternoon. As of Tuesday night, that wildfire has burned about 8,500 acres and 1,300 structures have been threatened. Mandatory evacuations are in place in the surrounding area and several roads are shut down. And happening today, exploring options for lowering the number of crashes on Delaware roads. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is focusing on initiatives to prevent traffic injuries and deaths. Today it is hosting the first in a series of public forums. The office says it affects everyone, whether you walk, ride, or drive. This forum is at Deltec's Georgetown campus at 6 p.m. And the Delaware Department of Education is welcoming these two new leaders. Denise Carter will serve as Deputy Secretary for Strategic Initiatives, and Adam Scott has been named Associate Secretary for Student Support. This comes as the State Secretary of Education is preparing for a major change in funding to focus more on student needs. And we're now going to take a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach this morning, and our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trahey, is going to join us. Bob, the sun is out there in Rehoboth, slightly cooler than yesterday, though.
Slightly cooler than yesterday. Elisa, good morning to you. And a little smoky out there, too. I've noticed parts of Sussex County smelling like smoke and the sky kind of taking on an orange tint as well. We mentioned the wildfire earlier in Ocean County, New Jersey, and I think with the northeast wind, some of that smoke is getting down here. So if you suffer from respiratory problems, maybe it's best to stay inside if you can for the rest of the day. We are seeing the thin clouds beginning to thin out as high pressure is building in. We have that northeasterly flow. We're looking at clouds. We even had some showers earlier across southern parts of Delmarva back into the Hampton Roads area, but high pressure will continue to move in and dry us out as we go through the day. And it is a little cooler today. 65 Salisbury, 66 in Georgetown, Milton 65, but cooler 50s from Rehoboth down to Ocean City with that northeasterly flow. At times, the winds gusting around 16 miles per hour, Indian River Inlet 14 in Millsboro. So a cooler afternoon, and it could be a little smoky at times too, with 60s and low 70s inland areas around 2 p.m., but cooler 50s and 60s at the coast. And well inland, you could get into the mid 70s as we go into the afternoon, and pretty comfortable as we go into the evening hours with a mix of sun and clouds. Once again, a little smoky at times. And then those winds do calm down tonight. It gets pretty chilly into tomorrow morning. The rest of the week is nice. Looks like the weekend starts a little unsettled with rain. I'll have more on that in my full forecast a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. Delta has announced some speed limit changes along Coastal Highway from Dewey Beach to the Delaware-Maryland state line. The first changes went into effect April 21st. If you're heading south from Dewey Beach to Conquest Road, it was 55 miles per hour, but now Delta says it has changed to 35 miles per hour. And northbound just before Conquest Road to Dewey Beach, that is 55 miles per hour, but Delta says it will be changing to 50 miles per hour. And Delaware State Police are responding to a social media post from news outlet First State Update. The post featured an edited image of a state trooper uniform with altercations made to that uniform. DSP called it, quote, unacceptable and disrespectful. In a statement, Delaware State Police Superintendent said, quote, this mockery of service and sacrifice defames our agency's credibility and the entire first responder community, end quote. And summer is about 2 months away and summer jobs are at the ready. Today, people can find full and part-time opportunities at the Worcester County Job Fair. The event takes place from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Snow Hill Volunteer Fire Company. Organizers say representatives from the Worcester County Health Department, Department of Labor, and other agencies will be in attendance. And we are now going to take a live look at Vatican City in Italy, where just a few hours ago, the coffin containing Pope Francis's body was taken to St. Peter's Basilica. The world continues to mourn the passing of Pope Francis, and Catholic Church officials prepare for his funeral. NBC's Jay Grace shows us the transfer ceremony for worshipers to pay their final respects.
Pope Francis comes back to St. Peter's Basilica for the last time. His body lying in state through Friday evening. The faithful, hundreds of thousands, traveling from around the world to say one final goodbye.
He's in our hearts. He's with God right now.
Cardinals continue gathering at the Vatican ahead of Saturday's funeral. Now, meeting daily for private general congregations, conversations that can at times turn to who among them could become the next pope.
Cardinal X will say to Cardinal Y, I've been talking about this to Cardinal Z. Let's go have a pizza.
135 cardinals, all under the age of 80, will elect the new pontiff during a highly secretive conclave inside the Sistine Chapel. 80% of that group, 108 cardinals, appointed by Francis, 20 from countries that had never had a cardinal before.
The Cardinals really face two choices in this election. Do they want to continue on the path of reform that Francis initiated, of opening the church up to the modern world, or do they want a course correction to elect a pope that's perhaps more focused on doctrine and discipline?
An answer that will only be known when white smoke fills the sky above Vatican City. Jay Gray, NBC News, Rome.
Coming up after the break on CoastTV News Midday, pricey pump plans, the seven-figure cost of options for upgrades to a part of Lewes's wastewater system. Exploring upgrades for the pump station in Lewes, 3 options and prices are expected to be reviewed at this afternoon's Board of Public Works meeting. Each option comes with at least a $1 million price tag to include a new structure. The board will have at least a month to decide. After today, their next meeting is scheduled for after Memorial Day. And happening today, calming traffic with art. That is Milton's approach to safer roadways for pedestrians. The art is used to draw attention to walkers, and this latest crosswalk is the 13th in town to be painted. This is at the intersection of Mulberry and Federal Street. Lily pads are painted by volunteers eager to promote safety.
So we have a lot of people that came out to volunteer to help us paint, and also to remind drivers that they are required by state law to stop at every pedestrian crossing when there is a person who wants to cross.
It can bring joy to the community because it's like cool.
And Milton started this initiative in 2023 with several other crosswalks throughout town. That project had been postponed earlier this week, but is expected to continue today. And the popular streaming service Max is launching a new feature called Extra Member Add-on. It costs $7.99 a month to add a family member or friend who does not live with a Max user. The move comes after Max's parent company Warner Brothers Discovery was getting ready to notify users of restrictions for sharing streaming accounts outside of their household.
We're seeing some lower visibility right now in the tunnel and Razor Cam, some haze, some smoke from the wildfires in Ocean County, New Jersey. Otherwise, lower 60s today, kind of hazy at the beaches, and some of Sussex County will be seeing some of the smoke as we go into the afternoon, with pleasant weather continuing dry through the end of the week. The weekend starting a little wet with showers and some possible thunderstorms. And congratulations to David Owen from Bridgeville on winning a new umbrella from CoastTV, and Paul Davis. I'll have the forecast, including the weather for the DSN Outdoors Expo, coming up next. It's a cooler day for Delmarva on this Wednesday morning, and noticeably hazy and smoky in Laurel on the Tyndall's Casual Furniture camera. Earlier on, I smelled some smoke down in the Millsboro area, and we could still be plagued by this into the afternoon. So if you have health problems, it's best to stay inside with that smoke coming from those New Jersey wildfires. 65 in Laurel, warming into the low 70s, and visibility could be a little lower in spots due to some of that smoke and haze. We have the DSN Outdoors Expo beginning Friday and lasting into Saturday. It begins Friday at 3 p.m., and I think we're looking at pretty good weather with a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures in the mid-70s, somewhere about 3 to 5 p.m. and a bit of a southeast breeze, and staying pretty pleasant as we go into the evening hours. 72 at 6, and then by 8 p.m. 66. But then the second day on Saturday, I think it's kind of wet, so maybe it's good to visit on Friday instead of Saturday, but we are looking at showers from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's when the expo runs that day, and we're looking at temperatures in the upper 60s at 10 with showers, and then 70s late morning into early afternoon, and once again hit and miss rain, so be prepared for that. as winds swing around to the southwest. Temperature-wise right now up to 70 in Seaford, 66 in Redden, 64 in Delmarva, 65 in Salisbury, and cooler at the beaches with that northeast breeze, 56 for Rehoboth with 57 in Ocean City and Bethany Beach right now. The winds have turned into the northeast and picking up some of that smoke from that wildfire in New Jersey. Right now, sustained winds around 5 to 15 miles per hour, even 22 in Salisbury, and you're gusting over 20 miles per hour there, 18 in Ocean Pines and 18 in Millsboro. As a visible satellite picture, not picking up on the smoke that's coming down the coast from New Jersey as the high clouds are beginning to thin out, and I think we will see mostly sunny skies as we go through the day as high pressure is building in. Had some showers earlier, the southern tip of Delmarva, but those have since moved out to sea as high pressure is building in. Our flow is coming in out of the northeast, so it will be a cooler day as this high pretty much sits over us, not only today, but for the next couple of days. So it looks pretty quiet into Friday. Here's Futurecast at noon. We're in the 60s and low 70s inland areas, but I think 50s and 60s at the coast and kind of hazy and smoky at times as we go into this evening. We do clear out the skies overnight, falling through the 50s, and we're looking at a chilly start on your Tuesday morning with temperatures into the mid-40s. By noon, we're looking at 60s and low 70s, maybe mid-70s from Seaford back through Salisbury, but still cool 50s and 60s at the coast. And then mid-afternoon tomorrow, 76 Ellendale, 77 in Seaford, but once again closer to the beaches, we're looking at 50s and 60s. And then heading into your Friday morning, not as chilly with 40s and 50s. And then as we go throughout the day, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds and temperatures in the mid to upper 70s as the winds start to swing in out of the southeast, and that will increase some moisture heading into Saturday. I think we see increasing showers, maybe a steady rain for a time into the afternoon hours, maybe a rumble of thunder. Then that front moves offshore as we go into Saturday evening, and then Sunday is better. We're looking at a northwesterly flow, and we're looking at sunshine, and temperatures will be a little cooler. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 71 today, a little smoky out there. 47 to start the day on Thursday, a little chilly with mostly sunny skies. Thursday 73, mid-70s on Friday, and then that chance of rain, maybe some thunder on Saturday. 75, sunshine, and a little cooler on Sunday, 68, and then a nice start to the week on Monday with mostly sunny skies. Tuesday, a little warmer, high around 78.
Thank you, Bob. And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 7 p.m., the Delmarva Shorebirds take on the Augusta Green Jackets. Then catch the final score at 10:30. And over on the DSN Plus app at 4 p.m., Salisbury Christian takes on Nanduit in baseball. Also at 4 p.m., Salisbury School faces the Gunston School in pickleball. At 5:30, Holly Christian plays Arcadia in girls soccer. And at 6:30, it's James and Bennett at Parkside in girls lacrosse. And Into the Trenches is back for its third season. This year, we follow the Cape Henlopen Vikings boys football team fresh off of their first state championship appearance in 40 years. Into the Trenches premieres tomorrow, April 24th at 7:30 on DSN and DSN+. CoastTV will be right back. Salisbury is launching a new effort to clean up local waterways. Starting next month, field operation crews will treat ponds and other spots to fight hydrilla and harmful algae blooms. Both can threaten fish and even human health. The city will use approved herbicides and algicides with follow-up treatments based on severity. One fisherman we spoke to say they're skeptical of the method being used.
I did fish and shoemaker when I was a kid, but I've always, from adults growing up to now, nobody's gonna eat out of there. And I hate harmful chemicals. I'm all with everybody nowadays with all natural stuff.
It's important to note a city spokesperson says those chemicals involved are approved. The city says it'll monitor progress and continue treatments each year if needed. And happening today in Georgetown, possible plans to upgrade the Delaware Coastal Airport are on the agenda. According to the Airport Advisory Committee, they are looking at a new parallel taxiway and restriping project. Also in the works is Eastern Shore natural gas installation. And there will be an update on wildlife management. That meeting takes place at 6 p.m. tonight at the Sussex County Emergency Center. And coming up Friday and Saturday, head over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoors Expo. This will be on Friday from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The DSN Outdoor Expo at Harrington Fairgrounds this weekend. And coming up, beach cleanup continues. We'll show you what Tuesday's Earth Day cleanup looked like and details of another event this weekend. Earth Day may be over, but Beach Heroes OC isn't done cleaning up the community. Locals can join the organization for another event this weekend. On Tuesday, people in Ocean Pines participated in a cleanup event partners with the Beach Heroes OC. Pat Ryan Garcia, who chairs Ocean Pines Environment and Natural Assets Advisory Committee, thought what better time to hold a cleanup than on Earth Day.
It's a great idea for people to get out, get some fresh air, get some exercise, and at the same time, they're doing something nice for our community.
And Beach Heroes OC is partnering with other local organizations for another Earth Day event this Saturday. It's the annual semi-annual community cleanup at the Worcester County Library.
It's a little smoky and hazy across Delmarva due to the fires in New Jersey. A little hazy in Ocean View right now, 57 as you warm into the lower 60s, lower 70s inland areas, but definitely cooler and a little smoky as we go through the rest of your day. The rest of the week is looking pleasant for Delmarva and dry, and then the weekend starts with some showers and thunderstorms. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. Another way to get your forecast, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next. Heading into the afternoon, use caution out there. It's hazy and it has the smell and taste of smoke out there. If you have health problems, it's best to stay inside in air conditioning today. Otherwise, hazy sunshine and lower 70s at the beaches, I should say inland, and cooler low to mid 60s at the beaches. And then pretty chilly through the overnight with clear skies, down to 47 tomorrow morning. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 73 mostly sunny on Thursday. Mid 70s, increasing clouds Friday. First half of the weekend, kind of rainy and stormy, 75 Saturday. 68 on Sunday, and then dry into the early part of next week. 84 by Wednesday. Maybe another rain chance by Friday, but not a lot of rain the next 10 days.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.